Hello guys, Inslayerclone here, friendly neighborhood incel, back at it, back again with the last trilogy, I guess, the final episode, I guess, of the Life as an Incel series. As you guys know, I've done Life as a 23-year-old incel, 24-year-old incel, and now I'm doing the final episode. Life as a 25-year-old incel, because I'm 25 and still 25. I will be 26 in the summer. Like I think this, no, late June, I guess. So so I'm just making one final video, I guess, on the series because I'm not sure if I'm gonna continue making the next episode next year, I guess. I don't think I'm going to make, oh god, life as a 26-year-old incel, or 27-year-old incel, 28. I think I'll be, I think this will be the final episode, because I do believe 23, 24, 25, especially, is a pinnacle moment in my personal life anyway. I guess so. I mean, I'm not sure how the mid, how early 20s, mid 20s, late 20s are alike. I am still in my 20s, of course, but I'm in my mid 20s now. You know, early 20s just feels like a blur because of the pandemic. I mean, it doesn't feel like a blur, but let's just say and stuff. I didn't have like that enjoyable experience like other people in their early 20s, especially the people now that are becoming late 20s. Oh, I was like, playing um going out to clubbing, playing whatever and shit. Now I was just constantly working on myself, building myself up, as they would say. You know, oh, I've got to strive for something. So I went back to get all my education stuff so I can get a job, which job itself isn't enough and shit. You know, isn't enough. So looks like I'm gonna have to get more education, I guess. I don't even know, man. Everything's just effed up, messed up, right? The economy's all messed up. Now you got people and stuff making videos about Black Ops 2 predicted the future. Oh, because um, would say all the rare earth materials came from China. Well, I mean, it's not really like at the time anyway. It's not like, oh well, this couldn't be predicted. I mean, look at how China was being developed in the 2000s and stuff. Plus, there was multiple video games before Black Ops 2 came out, like Homefront or Frontline Fuel Wars, and probably other games as well that were talking about future war with China and America. It's not freaking. It's not Black Ops 2 predicted their future, that quantum commuting nonsense and stuff. You look at the timeline, look how the world is. You can just predict stuff like that can happen. You know, I guess it's all back to that whole adolescence thing as well, because now the normies are now seeing that this type of community exists online, even though it's been around since for about 10, maybe even some say 20 years now. You know, so all I'm saying that use your brain. You know, it was predictable that China was going to be a big economy, especially after the collapse and stuff. Not the collapse. What's the term? Because China has a huge population, and most things were being built in China in the 2000s, right? There was an entire episode about iPads and I think it was either from the 2000s or early 2010s and stuff. It was talking about China, like having workers jumping off the factory pens because of how much work they're doing and stuff like that. It was honestly, it's not that far fetched and stuff what Black Ops 2 being, but normally think they're geniuses because stuff are happening in 2025 and stuff. It means that Black Ops 2 predicted all this stuff. No, it's all about I mean, it could have predicted it, but it's like you can't really predict the exact year, but you can predict the couple of days certain things are happening, events are happening. It's just like it's like I don't know, electricity is some part of the roof is broken, right? And no one fixes the roof and stuff. In the future, it's gonna completely like there's gonna be a hole. It's gonna break the roof. There's not much of a difference. So, but I guess people want to have a bigger meaning to everything and stuff in life, but it's not real big meaning. And I guess that's just what I'm kind of like, in today, being a 25-year-old incel and stuff like that. I've already talked about in my other episodes and stuff about how life is and how I felt and stuff. But for me now, how I see it, well, it is what it is, It is what it is. I'm 25-year-old incel, Don't really want to be incel. I mean, I didn't choose. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of alright being an incel now, but I don't really care that much, you know. Because at the end of the day, if I was incel or not incel, I'm still gonna do what my life is. I'm still gonna go outside and make this video like I'm doing now. That's not gonna stop me, because I understand my whole. I am the driver of my own life, so and like the other thing I wanted to talk about as well. I guess this kind of connects to what I've learned, being 25-year-old incel. I guess a lot of people talk about procrastination, right? Doom scrolling, right? That's another thing, you know. Me personally, I don't see doom scrolling as a bad thing, right? You know. Oh, just go out there and do something. What is there to do outside? I mean, I'm outside right now. I'm making this video and stuff. Once I finish making this video, I'm gonna go home. Yeah, some people I see at the top of the mountain, not the mountain, the hill. They're driving like some friends, they're driving some bikes, around the park and stuff like that, you know. Or like, I don't think that's doom scrolling. It's just killing time, right? Because if if the idea of doom scrolling that you got nothing to do that's very valuable at this time and place, so you're just gonna sit down and maybe watch a television show, which I don't watch any, quite frankly, apart from like The Last of Us and stuff. I mean, I know apart from Last of Us, since I want to see what's the difference between the game and the TV show. I actually not really watching any TV shows at all and stuff. I don't really care about it. So this idea, once again, of doom scrolling doesn't make any sense. If anything, people in like the 50s were doom scrolling themselves. They would just sit down and do it on a bench all day, look at the wind, look at this, at the whatever on their porch, whatever you call it, or in the park. That's another form of doom scrolling if you think about it. Yeah, the more like I learn about humanity and I learn about the world and stuff, the more I start to just really hate this world, And I was watching a video, I think it was yesterday and stuff, about this guy, he's talking about, this guy, this like male, tricking the woman with AI because he was talking about AI dating and stuff, and and now men are going to start using AI to trick women to dating them. You know what? I don't see that as a bad thing. If people want to trick, if you want to get if you want to get the best results, well, use AI to get the date, get the girl. At the end of the day and stuff. This is not life is not fair. Which I just want to keep it real, guys. Like many men out here watching this video. Maybe even women out here that are watching this video. Life isn't fair. You thinking, oh, I'm gonna do it the right way and stuff. Do everything, by the book, by the laws that the government's provided to. And that's how I see it, man. Like, if you're doing stuff by the book, it means that's how they want you to do, right? Do you really think people did to get where they needed to get? They did it by the book? Absolutely not. I'm not saying people didn't do it by the book. A lot of the time, right? People actually just like they did it by the book, but they actually bend the rules as well, right? They say, what can I get away with, right? That people won't notice. I mean, people at work at their like 9 to 5 work, right? This is the rules of the company. Let's just say we wanted to fold the cloths this way because of the things. Most people don't. Most people, well, I can't. They'll do that at first, but at the end of the day, once they've established themselves, once they got comfortable, they just don't really care anymore and stuff. Oh, we're just gonna play it like this, you know. Rules are meant there. Rules are there to be broken. No, they're not there just because well, those are the rules. That's the law. It is what it is. You know, they're there to be broken. And like I said, the elites, the people that run the system anyway, they don't follow the rules anyway. Right? It's rules for me, rules not for you. Rules for me. I can't name the term, but rules for D, rules for you and stuff. I don't know. I can't really say it right now, but you kind of get the picture. One rule for them, another rule for you, I guess. Right? And that's the way it is. You know. So this idea, once again, that you give your life for 35 years or whatever at a corporation or a job, just for it to get taken away in seconds and stuff, it meant nothing really. You know, you could be a doctor, right? You could have went to med school at age 18, became a doctor and stuff, worked 20 years, being a doctor, right? One whatever and stuff, accusation, whatever. You lose everything. Didn't even matter. Society, really and stuff. Society only sees you as valuable for what they can do, gain from you, right? They don't actually see any value in you. You have to give in to the society, right? So they can. So that's when you're valuable. But when you're struggling, when you're down and out, right? When you can't offer nothing to no one cares. You know, no one cares about your suffering. No one cares. So for me and stuff, understanding that, I'm like, if no one's gonna care about me, I'm gonna care about myself. So I don't even care about people in the streets, homeless people anymore, or people suffering in the streets. They chose that path. They chose that line, right? I talked about this, about with like the guy, my couple of videos back about the guy trying to jump off on the train tracks. Oh, I'm depressed, I'm gonna jump on the train. Like, you know what? I don't care. Jump on the train tracks, not my problem. You know, everyone everyone has to figure out for themselves, on how to achieve life. Life is not like I said, like at the end of the day and stuff. It's only going to be you in your room, right? You're gonna die alone, right? It's only going to be you around, right? There's not going to be no one else around. It's only going to be yourself. Like kind of like what I'm doing now in this park. It's not really much people around. It's only me speaking to you guys on the internet. You know, I have to realize that. And so that's how I realized when I'm like 25-year-old incel and stuff. No one really cares about you, especially men and stuff. You know, I mean, we make this idea like like women's and stuff are talking about essay and stuff like that. Oh, essay is such a bad thing. Which I'm not saying it isn't a bad thing. Essay is a pretty bad thing, but it's like is that it? Oh, I got attacked by a couple people. Yeah, it's probably gonna be bad, I guess. I'm not saying it isn't. However, and stuff. you still gotta go to work and gotta pay your bills and stuff and gotta freaking do the things to survive, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure, in the freaking 14th century, 15th century, right? People like in the past, whatever, used to get SA all the time. Used to get had to violent encounters and stuff like that, because that's how life was back then. Did women cry about, oh, green, you know, a Viking SA'd me, or a Roman, I don't know, what's the Turkish shoulders? I can't remember that. The Ottoman Empire was the one, those shoulders there with the moustache. Oh, this Ottoman soldier SA'd me. No, it is what it is. They have to get back on it. Get back on your feet, mate. You know, shake it off. That's how life was back then. I think people are just too weak nowadays and stuff. I mean, I'm not saying I am one of them, I guess, but what I mean, they're like, say, oh, this is bad and that is bad and stuff. And like I said, this in other countries it's far worse than United Kingdom, of course. Places like Africa and stuff. But I guarantee you, even in Africa, it was not as bad. In Africa now, in 2025, life is far better in Africa than it was in 14th century Europe, you know, and stuff like that. You know, you just have to understand that, there's humanity as it is. When they're just left to their own devices, we are going to be violent in some capacity. We are going to be vicious people, you know, and I've accepted all of that. I've accepted all of this. So for me being like so-called incel in 2025, you know, so-called 25-year-old incel, I don't really care anymore. Because what do I gain from women's anyway? What do I gain? Oh, I'm not an incel anymore. It makes no sense, mate. You know, that's what you think. That's what you need to understand. You know, I understand why people don't want to be incels because of like romantic relationships and partnerships and all that. But it's like, is that really it? Is that really like it? Oh, I've got a girlfriend now, or got a wife now. Now I'm working eight, practically 30 to 40 hours a day to provide for their children's, you know. And I guess some men that's what they need, saying to survive. I guess because if they didn't have that, you know, they'll probably they'll just do the termination method, you know. You know, that's why most men are content, on that stuff. They need like Netflix. They need like the football Premier League. What they call it in America, Matin, not Matin, the Super Bowl, whatever. Oh yeah, that's what they call it. The Super Bowl. They need all that to survive and stuff. Because if they don't have all that, they have to actually go and think about their entire life from beginning to now, whatever age they are. They start having massive like cos not cosmic, massive like introspection issues, right? I can't remember what's the term, midlife crisis or whatever you call it. You know, complex thinking. I guess they will start to think a lot of deep things, and a lot of people don't want to do that. It's what's the term? Ignorance is bliss. I guess you know. Most people rather stay ignorant about their reality than actually trying to solve how they are, you know. And I'm not saying people need to become like me, whatever. If they don't want to become like me, that's what it is, you know. You know, and yeah, like there's a lot of foxes roaming about right now and stuff. A lot of them roaming about, but you know what? I don't care. They're just a fox at the end of the day. I'm here occupying space. They are here also occupying space as well. So yeah, what have I learned being a 25-year-old incel? Well, most people are full of shit. Most people are just are like NPCs and stuff like that. Most people need validation, right, to stay alive. Because if they didn't have validation, if no one's validating them, and their work, whatever, they wouldn't they wouldn't want to live anymore. So they need that, they need that thing to exist. And I think I talked about this already about one of my colleagues. Oh well, this company isn't recognizing my work or whatever, and stuff like that. Well, that's life. There's no like, you're not here. You're not special, mate. And I think I didn't do a video on that. Maybe in the future I'll do a video on that you're not special and stuff. But or maybe I should leave it for the Inslayerclone on Rumble series season 2. Maybe I should just leave it on that, because I don't plan to make any more like one of these videos. I guess I'm kind of posting these videos because, like I said, I did lose quite a few videos on an Inslayerclone YouTube channel because of determination, but it is what it is. I guess you can't. You're not. We're not like what do I call it? Prone to like suffering. Not prone to suffering. We're not prone to like everything going right in life. I guess that's what I mean to say. But yeah, but the human consciousness, the NPCs, they need to feel alive. While people like me that are like incel or whatever, black pilled and stuff, they understand how everything works and stuff. So they're just like, yeah, I don't get a pay rise. It is what it is and stuff. Right? At least I still can get a paycheck to pay for my bills and stuff. That's all that matters. Understanding that nothing's gonna change and stuff. People just accept how things are. Like trying to change whatever it is isn't really gonna solve the issues and stuff because like I said, you solve the issues now. There's other issues that come up, Chris. The human psyche is corrupted. When you're born into this system, it's already corrupted, and that's why I made my video. It's already over for Gen Beta, because it is already over, right? They're getting born into a society where war is going to be happening, like practically World War III is going to be happening. And it's not even just World War III, because I don't even think World War III will ever happen, but just the cost of living itself, right? How your living standards, it's only going to get worse from here, right? Oh, we just vote in another politician, things will get better. I mean, people did that in the UK. They voted for the Labour Party because they didn't like the Conservatives, which both parties to me are corrupted. Doesn't matter if it's Labour or Conservatives. Both of them have the same agenda and stuff. This is that one is blue and one is red and stuff, right? Vote for Labour, prices gone up. It's still suffering, and it's still suffering to pay bills. In fact, it's far worse now in 2025 than it is in 20 when before conservatives were running, and now not only that, they're gonna cut off like the disabled people's money off, which I don't really care because I'm not disabled and stuff. I actually do work, They're gonna cut that off to send over to Ukraine or to Israel and stuff. That's where they're sending all the money is, it is what it is, man. I can't really say any more else. It is what it is, I guess. So, I can't really saying they can't do that. They can't cut off the people that need medical assistance, whatever, that are suffering to pay bills and stuff like that. Well, you should have done your research on the politicians themselves. That's what you should have done. And once you understand what these people are bought and paid for, most of them are bought and paid for, well, it's kind of pointless trying to vote. And that's why I say I don't vote for politicians, because most of them are lies. I'm not saying some of them are truthful, but they're not going to enact change. In fact, the voting system itself cannot change anything. But that's a video on itself. I can talk about that. That's a total different video on its own. But yeah, you know. By the way, YouTube I am only talking from a psychological and a spiritual lens and stuff. So I'm not encouraging hate speech, whatever. So don't take my channel down, YouTube AI. I'm just talking from a psychological and a spiritual lens, not from a hateful lens. Okay. But yeah, I just feel like, once again, for me and stuff, as a 25-year-old incel now in 2025, especially when all the stuff that's gone through on this timeline, my channel getting deleted, practically, yeah, it got terminated, right? And losing quite a lot of things, maybe friends itself as well, losing people that I used to talk to and stuff. So it's like, well, it is what it is and stuff. Probably didn't even matter in the first place. I was just like trying to keep things in order. It's like that time, keeping that like dream alive, isn't it? What's the term? I can't remember the term. The preventing the inevitable, you know. I guess that's what I mean. When things was gonna go like that, the things happened to me happened, and now it's just time to get back on my feet and get my life in order and stuff. And am I gonna go? Oh, I'm so upset. 25-year-old incel, whatever. No, it is what it is. Right? At the end of the day and stuff, I'm lucky I'm not freaking slaving away for hours and hours and hours a day and stuff just to make bare minimum wage, just so I can eat. At least I don't have to worry about that, you know. And I'm gonna say, well, life is a bit more. There's more to life. You're building to something, and I guess I guarantee. I guess so. We're not just living for ourselves. There should be an end point of you doing X, whatever. And I guess so. Maybe, on the psychological lens, not psychological, subconscious. Me doing this type of content probably is me saying, well, you know, maybe in the future, Inslayerclone maybe does get a GF, whatever, or wife, whatever, by doing this type of content. I don't know. You never know what can happen in life. I myself, I'm not going out seeking out women like other people. I'm just saying how my life is and how I'm operating and how I look at the lens and look at how the world is. That's what I'm looking at from. I'm not like trying to oh well, my life is bad because I don't have a girlfriend and stuff like that. There's many bad things that could have happened, and I think me not having a girlfriend, whatever, or wife, whatever, is probably far from that. Look at that guy, what's his name? Shane Sharp, the freaking NBA player. I think not NBA player. Well, NFL player, whatever. He's now getting sued by a 26-year-old woman and stuff for 50 million and stuff because he wants to be a degenerate of young women and stuff because he has a lot of money and established, Well, I mean, I'm not like I said before. Do whatever the hell you want, Just don't call me when things go to hell and stuff, Because I'm just trying to survive, man. And I might have to do a video on that in the future. I guess all these like YouTubers, rinse and repeating the same cycle of content, especially in the Red Pill Manosphere community and stuff. Oh, Shane Sharp he's getting a shakedown by an OnlyFans woman, or just I don't care, I mean, this is 2025. If you still haven't learned from the 10 years of manosphere content about how women operate, or how society operates, I don't know what. You're still blue pilled, in some form, because you can't accept the reality. I mean, red pill is just, it says, well, if I do this amount of work, it means that things will change. Black pill just see it as it is, that things will never change, There's going to be some people at the top and some people at the bottom. Some people are going to stay stagnant. Some people might evolve to get to the top. Some people will stay at the bottom forever in their lives. That's what the black pill says, you know. So anyway, guys, and I'm not saying you shouldn't try hard. Don't give up. Of course, do your best and stuff. Don't like, oh well, if I'm gonna stay at the bottom forever, which most likely will happen, still do your best, right? If you really truly cared about something, do it. Do your best at it. You know, don't like, well, Clone said that if nothing's gonna change in your life, most likely it isn't gonna change in life. Let's just keep it real, because it's only a select few of people and stuff that can win, and they're picked already. I think I talked about this with Kate Moss. I think one of my videos about Kate Moss. Well, it's not about Kate Moss, but I was just using Kate Moss as an example because Kate Moss got picked to be a model by when she went on holiday. You know, so life is really just all random events, and random events. You being at the right places at the right time, just like with G-Man says, the right man in the wrong places can be all the change in the world, or something like that. Make all the difference in the world, So this is what I mean when I say life is random, and maybe I got the weak link when it comes to the relationship game, So it is what it is. But I'm not gonna cry dwell under that opinion. Oh, I'm not probably gonna die alone. We're all gonna die alone, right? I mean, many of these women anyway, these so-called beautiful women and successful women, they're not happy people anyway. Yeah, they might be enjoying their lifestyle right now, but once they hit their old age and stuff, they're gonna suffer as well. So, Anyway, guys, I guess this is the final episode, of this series. I guess the people that enjoyed this episode, series, whatever, and I'll probably reinstate all the videos and stuff afterwards once I upload this video, so you can watch all the videos and how I actually changed over time, I guess, on my mindset. Because I do feel like watching life as a 23-year-old, incel, 24-year-olds, and 25-year-olds, I've completely changed how I think, There's like a graduation of changing mindsets, changing worldview. Because I do believe in 2023, I was still a bit more conservative and stuff. I'm still somewhat conservative, but I'm like, you know what? 2025, if you want to be like a degenerate, go ahead. It's not my problem. Right? If you want to do, bad things, not my problem. Right? There's a cost and effect to everything. That's how I see it life now. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and enjoyed the series and stuff like that. And Inslayerclone is far from terminated. He's still around. Yes, this channel was terminated about a couple hours and stuff, but I've got it reinstated. All the strikes are gone, right? But yeah, videos are not gonna come back as it was before. I'm not gonna be making this, that, and the other and stuff, because like I said before, that's a legacy of the past, I guess. Talking about black pillism like that, that is that I've evolved from that mindset. I don't really care about that anymore. That's how I feel like. I mean, if you're still in the manosphere, still talking about women's wanting high value, all those videos on TikTok, men talking about women, high value women and all that. I just don't know what you're doing, man, honestly. It's yeah, this is how it is, mate. Welcome to the club. And people say, oh, well, we need new men to come in and learn from this. No, we don't need any new men. I mean, this content's been around for 10 years now. Do you really believe there's going to be new men looking for new red pill content? No. The stuff has already been established. They just want to do that because some of them probably make money repeating the same talking points. and they make money from that, or they just don't want to accept the reality and actually try eventually doing something else, with their life, But yeah, anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think about it, and let me know if you're one of them cell people in the comment section below. And also, you should also do this type of content as well. I do believe so. Every person that is part of the incel community should somewhat make videos, in my personal opinion. Maybe not make extensive, like high value videos, black pilled, high value videos like me do, but just give your opinions out there, right? Or journal something. I do journal, and I've been doing journaling since June of 2024 and stuff. Constant, like on a consistent basis. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about it and subscribe.